Good Monday morning. You are listening to Zakiya Larry Live. Listen, we're in the building, and I am so excited today for a few reasons. One, it's Monday, and I used to hate Mondays, but now I love it because we get to hang out together. But also, two, yesterday was what I like to call, my family and I call Resurrection Sunday. You may call it Easter. And so whatever you call it, a lot of us are really excited that it's springtime, and we've been reminded of renewal and the things coming to life in our life that we once thought were over. So here's the thing. I understand levity and gravity, and I'm so excited about the springtime, but I do understand that some tough stuff is happening right now in our nation. And so I want to take a quick minute and acknowledge what happened yesterday in Cleveland. And as a matter of fact, I was up all night on phone calls with friends who live in the area, folks who were just a few miles away from the tragedy that happened. And so Zakiya Larry Live and our team here, we're sending out love and light and positive thoughts to all of our friends in the Cleveland area. And so because this platform can't be taken for granted, I am going to make sure that you get some tips so that you're able to recognize mental health issues and that you're able to find the resources that you need. And so I'll get to that in just a second, but I wanted to make sure to pause and say, Cleveland, we're here for you. Cleveland, we love you, not just here at Zakiya Larry Live, but all of our family here listening. And just really quickly, before I hop into giving you those quick tips to help elevate your mental health awareness in your life, today on the show, we're talking faith or fiction. Do you need a core belief? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so obviously this is flowing together. Faith or fiction. Do you need a core belief? And in a time like this, let's talk about it. How does that core belief help us in any sort of way? It's after Easter. Is this one of your core beliefs? So faith is top of mind. Spring has sprung, but let's get somebody on the phone that I know, respect, and admire. This person is Natasha Stewart. She's the executive director of a nonprofit mental health counseling center in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. Now, Ms. Stewart has worked in the field for over 20 years, has been featured in numerous magazines, TV programs, and she's a motivational speaker. So I know for a fact Natasha Stewart is committed to reducing the stigma associated with mental health, especially in the African American community. So this is a bit of a change from our show, but let's go to Natasha Stewart first. Natasha, hey, how are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am fine. And here at Zakiya Larry Live, we are so excited to just have you jump on right here in the midst of breaking news. So thank you for that, Natasha.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Natasha, I have a couple of quick questions for you. Outside of dissecting the facts and reliving the pain of what happened in Cleveland on yesterday evening, let's get to the nitty-gritty, Natasha. I saw on social media people were saying somebody should have helped him. Where were his parents? Where were his friends? Who is this young lady? What did she do to him? And it seemed like a lot of blame shifting. So my question to you is, when it comes to recognizing mental health issues in our loved ones, how much responsibility do we have if we're not affected? If we're not the ones, rather, living with the mental illness ourselves?
The thing is, mental health is prevalent. This is something that we need to shine the light on. So many of us have family members, friends, somebody we know is affected by mental health. And 1 in 5 Americans will experience a mental health crisis in their lifetime.
Wow.
So we all know 5 people. So one of those
Yes.
5, and it might be you, are going to experience a mental health challenge.
Right.
So we need to start talking about it, and especially in the African American community, we tend to sweep it under the carpet. We kind of put it in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a shame and a stigma, and sometimes we don't know what to do to get that help. So we ignore it until something like this happens.
Wow. So we ignore it until something like this happens. What can we do to get in front of an issue like this?
Well, I think one of the things that you're doing today is having conversations about it and not just waiting until something like this tragic happens, but making it a normal part of everyday conversation. It's just like back in the 80s when they started talking about tobacco and the effects of smoking on your health, and it reduced how many people started smoking and how many people cut down on smoking. We need to start talking about our emotional health. We need to talk about our feelings and what happens to us when we don't process things correctly. Where can we go to get support when we need to talk things over? We need to have a safe place, a non-judgmental place to talk about what happens in our life. Because if we think about life, it is stressful. Life comes with stress. There's no way to avoid that. But there is a way to deal with that properly.
Absolutely. So you said have a safe place to talk about that. What are some of those safe places from a resource perspective?
Well, a lot of the communities have nonprofit agencies. I'm a director of one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where we offer counseling. Also, there are a lot of nationally is NAMI, which is the National Association of Mental Illness, and it's for people that are affected by it and for their family members. So there are 1-800 numbers you can Google. Everybody has access to the Internet nowadays. That's why we can see this stuff and relive this stuff and be re-traumatized by this stuff. But instead of using the Internet for that, how about using it for good? Using it to Google, what can I do to help somebody who's struggling? There are a plethora of agencies out there designed specifically to help people that are struggling and to help family members and friends, to give them tools and resources to help their loved ones.
Absolutely. So, Natasha, let's just say we Google these resources before we can get to those centers to have that conversation with our loved ones. What can we do in our own homes? How do you broach this topic with a person you feel may be affected, or if you're struggling yourself? How do you start that conversation in your own home about mental health?
I think we have to be human. We have to realize we all have issues. And obviously, this gentleman, his was on 10. But before it gets to 10, let's just make it normal conversation. How you talk to your children about you need to brush your teeth and how you need to drink milk and water to have a healthy body and eat the proper nutrition to maintain. Same thing about your emotional health. I started a campaign 2 years ago, and it was called the Checkup from the Neck Up, because we so focus on what's going on below our neck. You know, we talk about high blood pressure, we talk about cholesterol, but we don't talk about what do we need to do to have a healthy mind. What do we need to have a healthy thought and to renew our mind, that renewal you were talking about? What things do we need to have in place? Because the thing that life doesn't prepare us for is life, which is funny, right? And so you're hit with life, and we're getting hit with life earlier and earlier and earlier. So you need to start having those conversations with your children. You need to talk to them about what does mental health look like. And mental health is not an scary word. Or just say emotional health. What do you do when you're happy? What do you do when you're sad? What do you do when you're angry? How do you feel those emotions? And what I tell people are feelings are not right or wrong. Whatever you feel, whether that's anger, happiness, disappointment, jealousy, all those feelings are not right or wrong. It's the corresponding behavior. So a lot of times we try to neutralize the feeling without dealing with the behavior. So we need to talk about the feeling and then assign the appropriate behavior to it. What is the appropriate behavior? What are the societal norms for this? And let's talk about that. Because we don't teach our kids, we don't teach our family members how to deal with life. We just tell them to get through it. We don't tell them how to deal with it. What do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with rejection? How do you deal with hurt? How do you deal with pain?
Absolutely. Natasha Stewart, thank you so much for jumping in on this breaking news out of Cleveland, talking about mental health and starting that conversation, and for giving us resources and the names of a couple of organizations that we can reach out to. We thank you so much, Natasha. And how can we make sure that we're following you?
You can follow me on Twitter, Natasha Stewart _ that's NATASHA, Stewart, STEWART _ at Twitter.
I love it. Natasha, thank you so much, and we will definitely be reaching out to you for more of your expertise. Thank you, and have a great morning.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow. So, guys, we had to open this show with giving you resources about this mental health. It's a new season. It's about renewal. But listen, when breaking news happens and we are hurting in our world, it's incumbent upon us as a family to make sure we're having these conversations. So Natasha Stewart, who is a credentialed media mental health professional, really jumped in today to help us out. So listen, we're going to go further into the show today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our guests, and I'll tell you who they are coming up. Now, I have a woman who is the vice president of an incredible organization for media professionals. She's also a past title holder in a pageant system. She's also an anchor and a reporter. And she's had an incredible journey when it comes to having to renew herself, be it mentally or spiritually. And she's going to answer the question today, faith or fiction? Do you need a core belief? And then later on in the show, we're going to have Willie Moore Jr., hashtag 100. I love Willie Moore Jr., who is a minister. You may have known him as an R&B singer, but he has now transitioned over into the life of author and motivational speaker, an absolute national media powerhouse, nationally syndicated. So we are hanging out in Zakiya Larry Live in the building with our friends today in this new season of renewal. But you know what? Really quickly, let's talk Easter fashion, okay? Because it's Monday. I know it's been a little heavy, but yesterday was Easter. So I put this on social media. I said, what were some of the craziest outfits you wore as a kid on Easter? And some people chimed in. I got to tell you, let me give a shout out to Charmian Robinson. She said she had a giant red and white puffy dress that had lace around the bottom and on the sleeves. She had some patent leather shoes with giant socks with red lace on the giant socks. But she said, but listen, she took it to another level. Charmian said she had a fresh hair press to, and I quote, set it off. Okay, see, that's Easter as a kid. So if you know anything about getting your hair pressed the night before, Charmian just took her there. So my girl Jennifer Whitson said, honey, baby, she had a satin white shirt, pearl buttons, black velour culottes, and white tights with black patent leather shoes. Ma'am. Right, Victor. Okay, so my homeboy intern Victor over here just lifted his eyebrows like that's a lot going on. Look, Jennifer said she was fly with her 6-year-old self. And my girl Robin Gray, Coach Robin, said she had a pink floral dress with a crop jacket and lace socks. Yes, that crop jacket was hot back in the day. So, fellas, the ladies beat you. The ladies are sharing their Easter looks. Are y'all ashamed to talk about your pastel suits with your gaiters? Don't be ashamed. We all had a moment. As a matter of fact, I had to wear white lace gloves and a floppy hat. And then, of course, I had the giant socks and the patent leather shoes. So we were all looking, Easter fantastic, a little kind of dramatic and over the top. So anyway, if you want to weigh in on your crazy Easter fashion, or if you want to answer the question, faith or fiction, do you need a core belief? Hit me up. Call me, 832-230-5592, 832-230-5592, or talk to me on social media using hashtag ZLLive. So that's everything about our Easter fashions. Like, what?
Please back away from your radio.
It's Zakiya Larry Live. Real life, real talk, real change. Wait, what?
Liking the conversation? Tell a friend to tune into KYND, the kind of talk that inspires change.
From the Woodlands to Warden, on the air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
And we're live right now with Laura Williams from Volkswagen of the Woodlands.
Hello, this is Laura Williams coming to you live from Volkswagen of the Woodlands, and we're located at 16785, that's I-45 North at the 79A exit in the Woodlands. And come on out and check out our brand new Volvo Cars Woodlands dealership at the same great location. So now you've got both Volkswagen and Volvo together at one great location with tons of automobiles on both sides and over 100 pre-owned.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Welcome to KYND TV. My name's Lindsay Calzada, and I'm about to show you something crazy. No, not that crazy. KYND Radio is bringing you something that's so crazy, it's inspirational, it's educational, it's generational. No, not that kind of generation, our generation, your generation. KYND Radio is coming to YouTube. Now it's radio, it's TV, and it's your source of information. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button.
Rushion McDonald, wow. That means something today, but when I started in Fifth Ward, Texas, with my brothers, two brothers, I have 6 sisters, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I look at what I've accomplished today, you can do it. You can be that person. You can be Rushion. You can be Magic Johnson. You can be anybody you want to be mentally. I've worked with some of the best celebrities in this country. Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Monique, Tien Tamara Mowry, Gabrielle Union. So I've surrounded myself with a degree of success that stuns most people. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied when I got 2 Emmys. So my future now is to be able to share what I know. You know, they said, make America greater. How about making you greater? Call me. Money Making Conversations. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. KYND 15:20 a.m. I'll be live in studio. The kind of talk that inspires change.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House.
You live your best life.
Zakiya Larry Live. Everybody has a past, so together we'll use all of it to unlock your purpose. It's about real life, real talk, real change. Welcome to Zakiya Larry Live.
Hey there. So today we're talking about faith or fiction. Do you need a core belief? And we opened up talking to a mental health professional because we wanted to acknowledge our family there in Cleveland and give real tools and resources to help people when they are faced with mental health issues, either personally or in their family. And so now I told you that we have a spectacular guest coming up who will answer my question from her own perspective. Faith or fiction? Do you need a core belief? Now, this is Ashley Smith. Ashley Smith is a journalist, a pageant winner. She's a master communicator. And let me tell you just a little bit about her. Her bio is absolutely incredible. But listen, Ashley Smith starts her day before the sun comes up. She does traffic reports at like 4:30 a.m. on 13 News Now Daybreak. And she also contributes to 13 News Now's community outreach show. And that's with WCTV Chesapeake Television. That's where she was an anchor and reporter before joining the 13 News Now team. Interestingly enough, because she's not busy enough, apparently, she's the minister of music at New Galilee Missionary Baptist Church in Chesapeake. She's a graduate of Regent University with a master's in journalism, and her undergrad is from Old Dominion University, where she earned a bachelor's in communication. Oh my gosh, Ashley, am I looking in the mirror right now? Like, I'm so confused. So she competed in pageants for 7 years. Most notably, she was Miss United States 2011, and she was named ACHI's Magazine Awards 2015 TV Personality of the Year and 2015 Young Professional of the Year at Blessed Lifestyle Magazine's Age of Excellence Awards. My goodness, Ashley, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Well, technically it's afternoon for you because you've been up since 4:30 a.m. So good night, Ashley. How are you?
I'm good.
Ashley, my goodness, let's jump in here. I'm posing the question, faith or fiction? Do you need a core belief? And I'm sure people are saying, well, you just said she's the minister of music at a church, so I know what Ashley is going to say. But what I know about you is that you have an interesting twist to your life behind the journalism, behind the pageantry. You've had your own, you've had to chart your own course to even answer that question. So faith or fiction, do you need a core belief? Really quickly, do you? And then we'll get into that juicy piece of your story that led to this. Do you need a core belief?
Absolutely, you do. Absolutely.
And why is that?
You know, there are, of course, a lot of cliches surrounding it, that you should, you know, believe in spite of what's going on and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I can speak from experience. I come from a background where, you know, not everything was necessarily handed to me. Not everything worked out the way that I thought it was going to work out.
Right.
And so where faith came into play with me was more looking back at my life, looking back how things transpired, and if I had taken them into my own hands, how would they have turned out? Would I be in the place that I'm at today? And I can truly say the answer is no.
Wow.
None of the plans I thought would work out the way I wanted them to work out actually came to fruition. But what did happen was so much better. It was so much more fitted to my life and to what I deemed to be successful that I'm thankful that I stepped back and had faith that it was all going to work out the way that it should.
So you talked about stepping back and having faith that it will work out the way that it should. Although there was a situation that I got to tell you, I might have stepped back, but I can't say I would have believed it would have worked out. Talk to me a little bit, Ashley, about this story you shared with me on the road to your husband becoming your husband. It wasn't easy. Something happened that rocked the world of so many people, and folks are still talking about it today. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Well, there are actually a couple of things. One is, you know, a little more lighthearted. I always tell the story that we really, before we met, didn't like each other. And I say that because, long story short, we were both going for the same music ministry position but hadn't met. So we just always heard about the other person, you know, because it got narrowed down to the two of us, and and we just started to get annoyed by whoever this other person is who thinks that they, you know, have the job that I'm going to get. They're wrong, and you know, you kind of have that little lighthearted camaraderie like that, or competition, I should say. And when we finally did meet, it absolutely all just disappeared, and we had a fantastic relationship from day one.
Let's pause there really quickly, though, Ashley, because something happened after you finally met. The spirit of competition was there, but then maturity and faith kind of popped up. Tell me, what did your one-day-to-be husband do to really quell that spirit of competition? It was something really interesting, this dynamic duo thing that kind of came into play.
Oh, yes. I was trying to remember what he did. Girl, it was so long ago. So he's so funny. He's the talker of the two of us, believe it or not. But, you know, he's the mover and the shaker. And instead of continuing the competition between us, now that we've met and now that we've clicked, his idea is let's approach the music ministry that we both want to lead and suggest that we lead it together.
Wow.
And so he actually convinced the pastor of the church that we were both, trying to be full-time ministers of music for at the time to hire the both of us.
Wow.
And that's exactly what happened. And it was just one of the things that I really just got attracted to him about was his confidence, his ability to speak with people, and his ability to kind of be that salesman, because I was never good at that.
Right.
Yeah, he brought us together for sure. It was really cool.
I love that. So instead of competition dividing you two, the faith that grounded you and maturity that came about allowed you guys to actually work together toward a common goal of making an impact, right? Is that fair to sum that up? Is that a fair summation?
Absolutely.
I love
and
that.
The beautiful thing, you think about, in the Bible, they even talk about, how you can only do so much by yourself, but, putting two together can put 10,000 to flight. And I truly think our leadership styles are different.
Okay.
Even the way that we both play the piano is different. And so the beauty of us coming together was not just, because I liked him and he liked me, but it did so much for the ministry because we were able to teach them so many different things because we both played and responded to music differently. So it really worked out for the ministry.
Absolutely. That's an incredible level of maturity. Ashley, but it all wasn't roses. You stepped into a level of maturity again that I still am grappling with. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it because throughout this process, a tragedy was experienced. But you were in the thick of it and having to live your own life and cultivate this relationship as well. Can you talk to us about that and what it felt like being you in the middle of what was going on?
Absolutely. Well, before my husband and I met, my husband was in a different relationship, and it was a very long-term relationship. He was actually engaged before he met me, and sadly, his his first fiance, actually passed away before they were able to get married, and that was something that took him such a long time to be able to cope with, to be able to understand why that happened to her, why that happened to him. And in the midst of that, honestly, I think it was one of those situations where not enough time had passed when he and I met for him to really fully be able to move on from that tragedy. So what happened was this overlap, this period of time where he's still mourning, he's still grieving, he's still trying to understand, but yet here's this new person. And in his mind, he knew that there was something special that he needed to pursue between he and I, but didn't quite have what he needed in order to pursue it because he was still so empty from losing this very special person to him, and then being so young. He's going to be 35 this year, so at the time he was in his late 20s. I was in my early 20s. So you're talking about two people that do have faith, that have learned some things in life, but to hit that type of tragedy, neither of us had any idea how to deal. And so going back to, your question about faith, you have to step back in those moments because there is no one around you in those instances that really understands what your role is, really understands what his responsibility is in order to heal and to move on from something like that. And so there's only, one place you can turn in those situations, and that's the only place you're going to get peace and going to get understanding. And I think, one thing that I always, try to emphasize is the fact that when you have faith, it doesn't mean that you're going to get the whole process. And I didn't. There were plenty of times where I was lost. Do I comfort him right now? should I step back? Am I being too aggressive? You know, how do I feel about the fact that, you know, he still has these extremely, incredibly strong feelings for someone else? You don't know how to handle that. So I think for me, it's about stepping back, understanding that there is a much higher power that is going to orchestrate all of this, order our steps, and if we're meant to be together, we will be together.
Absolutely amazing. Ashley Smith, thank you so much for sharing your story and joining us. We'd love to have you back in the building with Zakiya Larry Live because there are some more layers that I know we can uncover together. So thank you so much, Ashley, and will we see you back here in the building soon?
Absolutely. Just let me know and I'll be there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. This is Ashley Smith on Zakiya Larry Live. We will be right back.
Hey, go refresh your coffee or send that quick email and come right back. There's more coming up next on Zakiya Larry Live.
Hello, this is Fred Hoyer coming to you for Bayway Lincoln, your Lincoln dealer for the last 20 years. Bayway Lincoln, located on the Gulf Freeway at the Fuqua exit. This month at Bayway Lincoln, 0% on all 2017 Lincolns in stock. That's right, 0% on all 2000.
Hey guys, welcome to KYND TV. My name's Lindsay Calzada, and I'm about to show you something crazy. No, not that crazy. KYND Radio is bringing you something that's so crazy, it's inspirational, it's educational, it's generational. No, not that kind of generation, our generation, your generation. KYND Radio is coming to YouTube. Now it's radio, it's TV, and it's your source of information. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that subscribe button.
Rushion McDonald, wow. That means something today, but when I started in Fifth Ward, Texas, with my brothers, two brothers, I have 6 sisters, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I look at what I've accomplished today, you can do it. You can be that person. You can be Rushion. You can be Magic Johnson. You can be anybody you want to be mentally. I've worked with some of the best celebrities in this country. Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Monique, Tien Tamara Mowry, Gabrielle Union. So I've surrounded myself with a degree of success that stuns most people. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied when I got 2 Emmys. So my future now is to be able to share what I know. You know, they said, make America greater. How about making you greater? Call me. Money Making Conversations. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. KYND 1520 a.m. I'll be live in studio. The kind of talk that inspires change.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve, and make them happen.
Air everywhere. Everywhere. The powerful 1520.
Hey, it's your elevation strategist, Zakiya Larry, and you're listening to Zakiya Larry Live on KYND 1520 AM. Zakiya Larry
Hey there. It has already been a jam-packed morning. We just talked to Ashley Smith, a reporter who's also a minister of music, who's also a pageant winner, who's also a survivor. And I asked her the question, faith or fiction, do you need a core belief? And immediately she said, absolutely. But the thing is, it wasn't easy for her to get to that place because what she did not have a chance to share with you, and we'll come back and talk about this in a show about career growth, but she worked for nearly 7 years with no pay. But she decided to tap into her faith center. And before she met her husband, they were in fierce competition and actually didn't care too much for each other. But the both of them tapped into that thing that anchored them and that was stronger than the two of them. And hey, I mean, they're married now, so I guess they like each other quite a bit because they were able to step away from that very unhealthy, very toxic spirit of competition and really step into service and understanding that they had a common goal and that they could get there together. So thank you so much to the incomparable Ashley Smith. We had a blast, and she will be back with us in the building at some point. So, faith or fiction, do you need a core belief? I need you to answer that question. You can chime in. You can give me a call at 832-230-5592. 832-230-5592 to answer that question, or if you have comments about what Ashley said. And so I got to tell you, hopefully you know that the purpose of Zakiya Larry Live is to help you elevate to your next level, be it emotionally, spiritually, mentally, or even professionally. And I told you a little bit during last week's show about my resume and my rap sheet. The resume is the good stuff that you want people to know about. The rap sheet is the not so good stuff that you want to keep under wraps. And so my resume is media coach. I help executives and speakers and pastors prepare to strategically handle media interviews. And I also do strategic communications and public relations. I elevate brands. Yeah, that's the resume. But my rap sheet also included battling illness for many years, just having the PICC line removed from my arm in January. And because it's the day after Easter and we're looking toward renewal, big announcement today that this past Friday, which was Good Friday, I had a doctor's appointment, and my doctor told me that it is finished. No pun intended. He literally said that, and I almost lost it in the doctor's office. But he said, Miss Larry, it looks like everything is great. As a matter of fact, I don't think you're going to even need any more treatments. We're just going to keep monitoring your major organs, and we're going to move forward from there. So when I tell you about renewal, it happens in all of our lives, and it's happening daily, and it's happening right now. And actually, if you had a chance to listen to the Les Brown Motivational Hour right before I came on, he's sharing his own journey of renewal when it comes to health. And motivation is not even the term to use for Les Brown's journey. So I'm sending him love and light on this path. So this is an incredible motivational Monday that we have going on here. So I'm here to help you unlock your purpose. And we also talked about some funny Easter stories, some funny Easter outfits. I didn't put myself out there, but yeah, it was a mess. I had a floppy hat with a purple bow on it and white lace gloves and a white patent leather purse and white patent leather shoes and giant white socks with purple ribbons. And my dress looked like one of those big old Gone with the Wind dresses. It was lavender, trimmed in white. It was such a dramatic mess. So if anyone thinks I'm dramatic, it probably started when my mother dressed me for Easter. So call her and file any sort of complaints and concerns because I can't help it. So anyway, we're talking to You Need a Core Belief. It's after Easter. We're looking toward renewal. And here's the thing. Regardless of how you identify religion, what I know in my life is that having a core belief is what drives you. And some people say, hey, I believe in my quest for success, or I believe in the power of my dreams. And for me and so many people that I know and love, we believe that our faith in God and our faith in the resurrected Christ, we're just coming out of Easter weekend. You may call it Easter. Some of us call it Resurrection Sunday. But at the end of the day, what we're seeing is a theme. That as humans, we have to have something at our core to hold on to. So as you're sitting at your desk and you're working on that deadline, or if you're driving in your car and you're listening, just understand that it doesn't have to be you, and it doesn't have to be all you by yourself. And so, hey, I'm not the preacher here. I'm just sharing that I was able to pull through some of the hardest and darkest times in my life that are really just now coming into a season of renewal as of Friday, as I shared with you, because if I'm leaning on just Zakiya, I would have given up a long time ago. I got to tell you. And Les Brown actually alluded to this in his show right before our time here together, that he had to remind himself of what was greater. And so make sure you check out his replay and then jump back over here after the show and continue to comment, because remember, this we keep talking all week about this. So answer the question for yourself: faith or fiction? Do you need a core belief? And listen, we're going to go to a quick break, because when we come back, I have somebody who's going to answer this question in his own way. Willie Moore Jr. Google him, Google what he's up to right now, so that you can understand who this man is and the perspective from which he is coming. And you know what? I got to say this. Willie Moore Jr. says something, and I'll pull it out of him, but he has a view on religion that may shock you. Matter of fact, he says religion probably told us some wrong stuff. Uh-oh. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And make sure if you're calling in, of course, the number 832-230-5592. As a matter of fact, right before, because I was about to toss the break right now, looks like we have a call, a quick comment. Hey there, you're live. Okay. So we're going to take this call when we come back, because thank you for calling in and waiting. We're going to hop into break, and I'll talk to you in just a minute. It's Zakiya Larry Live.
Our KYND phone lines are open. We invite your calls. 832-230-5592. KYND.
The kind of talk that inspires change.
KYND. It's about connection.
It's about community.
It's about empowerment.
It's about you.
The kind of talk that inspires change. Hi, this is
Rushion McDonald. Wow. That means something today, but when I started in Fifth Ward, Texas, with my brothers, two brothers, I have 6 sisters, I didn't know what I wanted to be. So when I look at what I've accomplished today, you can do it. You can be that person. You can be Rushion. You can be Magic Johnson. You can be anybody you want to be mentally. I've worked with some of the best celebrities in this country: Kevin Hart, Jamie Foxx, Monique, Tien Tamara Mowry, Gabrielle Union. So I've surrounded myself with a degree of success that stuns most people. But I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied when I got 2 Emmys. So my future now is to be able to share what I know. You know, they said, make America greater. How about making you greater? Call me. Money Making Conversations. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. KYND 1520 a.m. I'll be live in studio. The kind of talk that inspires change.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, my name is Les Brown, and I want to invite you to join me on KYND Monday from 9 o'clock until 10. It's radio that is designed to help you to live your dreams rather than your fears. A lot of people are talking about what's going on in the White House. I say focus on what's going on in your house. We're going to teach you how to begin to overcome your fears, how to identify the goals that you want to achieve and make them happen, and how to begin to get negative, toxic people out of your life. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Listen to me Monday from 9 o'clock until 10 on KYND. You have something special. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Welcome to KYND TV. My name's Lindsay Calzada, and I'm about to show you something crazy.
KYND 1520, KYNDradio.com.
Hey there, so today we're talking faith or fiction. Do you need a core belief? And we have some callers on the line here. Let's go to Mark. Hey there, Mark, where are you from?
over on the north side. Good morning. How are you doing, ma'am? You doing all right?
I'm doing excellent. Mark, what's your comment? Faith or fiction? Do you need a core belief?
Well, it all depends.
Okay.
It all depends. But what I was really calling, because I heard you earlier when you was talking about the mental issues and,
yes,
and stuff like that in our communities, and we're not recognized. I believe that we are recognized that we do have mental issues and we have problems, but I don't think this system is not recognizing us, because we notice that we call for when our loved ones haven't taken a medicine, and we call for authority just to come out to help, and at the end of the day, they don't look at it as a mental issue. They look at it as a criminal issue, and they just kills them or whatever, something bad happens. And so we to the point that where this mental thing is, we're afraid to even call for help now, because if we call for help, we know what the end result may be.
Mark, that is so powerful, because I know a lot of people have experienced that, and I've seen it firsthand, too. So, guys, Mark is on the line from the north side here in Houston. He was saying that in the black community, we do recognize mental health issues, but it's the system that is not properly handling it. They're not looking at it as medical or mental. They're looking at it as criminal. Is that fair to say, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
That is absolutely.
Wow.
So until we can get this situation, because it's a lot of people. It's not just it's young kids, it's adults,
right?
It's a lot of them, and we throw the system throws a blind eye, but we can notice when other race of people have issues, they can be able to be rehabilitated or be able to get some help. But for us, it's just we call for help, but the help don't help. That's all I'm trying to say.
Mark, thank you for sharing that perspective, that we cannot continue to criminalize that which is medical. Thank you, Mark, so much for joining us. Let's now go to our next caller, Riley. Riley, are you with us?
Here. How are you?
I am excellent, Riley. Thank you for joining us. So I'm asking the question, faith or fiction? Do you need a core belief? But, of course, we opened the show talking about mental health because of the breaking news. Riley, what do you have to say? What do you want to share with us today?
Okay, so I'll touch base on mental health.
Okay.
I do feel that I agree with with Mark, the caller that just called in. However, I do feel that we also let it go too far. Like, there are signs when a person has mental health, and we should basically deal with it when we start to see it. If we continue to prolong and let it go, they criminalize it, because some people don't know how to express their mental illness, so they are very hostile at times. So that's why they criminalize it, because, I mean, let's just be honest, we're already stigmatized because we're African American, so they already think that we're hostile. But it's a mental issue there. There's really a mental issue that needs to be dealt with when you first start seeing the signs, and that's where family comes into play. Your friends come into play. Someone needs to be responsible and say, okay, we need to get you some help. If we don't get you professional help, let's just be by your side. So therefore you will have an outlet to, you know, let someone know what's going on before it gets too far and gets taken out of hand as it did in recent news.
Right.
So I think that's one of the issues, and that's why they criminalize it, because people have such a major issue with mental illness that no one is listening. No one is understanding what they have to say. No one is hearing them. So they have to take drastic action in order for someone to understand what they're going through. But at that point, it's too late, because you have lives that are lost, and this person has already affected so many lives. So I think that we need to come together as a community and deal with it as soon as you start seeing the signs.
As soon as you see the signs. I love it. So band together as a family, band together as a community, as soon as you see the signs. Riley, thank you for joining us with Zakiya Larry Live. We really appreciate you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Anytime, anytime. Guys, if you want to weigh in on this issue, we're going to be off the air in just a little bit. But listen, you can still talk about it. #ZL Live. We're talking about mental health, but as it relates to renewal, Natasha Stewart came on and talked about the renewing of the mind and resources. And it's after Easter, so it's a perfect time to talk about renewal. And so up next, speaking of renewal, I want you to meet Willie Moore Jr. He's a man of many faces, but one vision. So he's a master communicator, and he's connecting the world through multiple talents and media outlets. Willie Moore Jr. is a syndicated radio host, a comedic speaker, a family man, a television host, an author, a music artist, and producer, and clearly he's busy and he's on the go. Willie Moore Jr. You are listening to Zakiya Larry Live, and I have an absolute special treat for you. Willie Moore Jr. You know him as a nationally syndicated radio host, a national TV host. You know him as a recording artist, a faith move. Listen, his resume goes on and on, but I've had an opportunity to also hear him speak and coach from his new book, Happily After All. And so we're going to get into some conversations that I know we need to have. Hey there, Willie. How are you?
Man, I am amazing. Glad to be on with you right now. Keeping it 100. Right up.
Oh, man, I appreciate that so much. So, listen, Easter just passed, and I know, outside of the outfits and the egg hunts, everybody is looking toward renewal. And I know that you've had a major renewal in your life. As a matter of fact, you write about it in your book. Can you tell us a little bit about what you renewed by having a faith center?
Man, you know what? I would say my renewal probably started when I made a really big decision to leave my former world. I used to be this R&B and hip-hop guy named Pretty Willie. Now, Pretty at 100, honestly, if you look at me now, you probably notice that the kids took out a Pretty, but I'm holding on to half a strong. I'm just keeping it 100 with you.
Right.
But I made a decision. I said, you know what? I'm living like a life that is so contrary to my belief system, so I just got renewed. And if you look at the word renew, I mean, it has a re on the meaning that you were once this person, you were once going in this direction, you were once training to be this person, but somehow you slipped away. If we rewind something, that means we're going to wind backwards. If we re-look at something, then we've seen it already. So if you want to renew, like I'm encouraging people to do like I did. Like I started looking at what was my belief system before I started believing I was this hip-hop guy. And it was centered around faith. And so now I went right back to my engine. And the road that we're traveling now has been so amazing and so much more fulfilling.
Wow, that's amazing. And so you brought up something really key. You said when you understand it means to look at something you've already seen before or go back to where you were. And I talk a lot about coming from your core, meaning something was already inside of you. Did you know that it was implanted from a child, or did you have to find it, that faith that reminded you, hey, this isn't who you are?
You know what? I always feel like I was that kite that went up in the clouds. You might not see the kite anymore, but you can always feel that string. Like you always know that string is there kind of tugging you back. And so I always felt like the Lord had a leash on me. So even when I was in clubs where there was thousands of people, hundreds of women, you could pretty much do whatever you want. You're making thousands of dollars, and you live in a life that the world would say is amazing. And like for me, people know I'm not faking because you can look on YouTube and see what we used to do, right?
Right.
And so even though I was in that world, I knew that God had something different for me. Like all the other guys could go out with the girls, end up with somebody in your room at like 3 a.m. And then if I choose to do that, the person that I choose at 3 a.m. looking at me like, oh, it's something different about you. I think God go do something. I'm like, are we really talking about God right now? And so, I always tell people, like, I feel like my mom was praying for me when Jesus was stalking me.
Oh, wow.
And he was. I used to call my mom when I was on the road traveling as Pretty Willie, and I was like, Mom, stop praying for me. I feel like Jesus is stalking me right now. So, but yeah, I always knew.
Wow, that is powerful. But you know, this lifestyle that you were able to come out of, that's still super popular, especially among us millennials. Let me hit you with some numbers that I know you already know. Well, for the folks who don't know, millennials are folks born between 1981 and 1996. But listen, a Pew study said that 4 in 10 of us millennials say religion isn't very important in their everyday life. I mean, just not. So that number is dropping, and they're looking toward a lifestyle of partying. What do you say to millennials? Do millennials need a core belief system at all? Is it important?
You know what? You definitely need a core belief system. And I choose to challenge those statistics because if you would have asked me at age 19 or 20, was, religion something that you needed, I would have said yes. And I would have really boasted a really strong point on how important it was. But after I said yes, I'd have went right back to the same club. I'd have went straight back to the drinking. I done went straight back to pretending like I was just and just pretending to be that. And so the one thing I love about millennials now that they're not fake like we were. Right, like honestly, we would pretend like, yeah, we had it all together, but as soon as we left church, we would go back and start singing Jodeci and Boys to Men.
Wow.
What we were doing. I like the fact that they are raw, they're real, they know exactly if they're going to deal with you, and so what I'm challenging people to do is not focus so much on the statistics, but to build a culture that people can feel like it's attractive, and they'll say, yeah, man, of course you need this belief system. Everybody wants to be a part of a winning system. And I just think for millennials and people of all ages, some people have never seen people win with their faith. And so what we're doing is saying, hey, we're taking a different approach. I do wear a ball cap. We do bring a DJ to the church. We do bring a DJ wherever we go. Of course we got the houses. Of course we got the cars. But our faith is our engine. And our prayers are attracted to a lot of different people across this country. And they say, you know, what's to that? Once they say what it is, we say, listen, it's Jesus Christ. It's my belief system. So.
Oh, wow. Willie, my last two questions. You talked about the culture, and I know a lot of millennials are against religion. Do you see that there's a difference in the culture versus religion, and how can you bring millennials back into the fold or help them develop that core?
You know what, with so much stuff going on social media, with so much access, with so much knowledge, whether it's true or false, I mean, at the end of the day, I always challenge people. I say, man, listen, I know that you think you have the truth, right? But if you don't have peace, you only have a piece of the truth. And so what I'm telling people is like, listen, through this engine and through this faith system, like I have total peace. Now, are we going to be able to win people with some of the traditional ways that we used to? I think it's going to be very, very tough if you don't have a seed planted in the church or at least understand that culture. And that's why it's important for people in the kingdom to make it attractive on social media, to use television, to use radio. That's why and not to get too super deep, but that's why the devil said, like, he says in the Bible, he's the prince of the air. And so the air, honestly, is media, right? That's the medium that makes something good or something bad attractive or not attractive. So when you look at the traditional church sense, in the media, in the medium, the part that's it's not attractive. Mm-hmm. So it's up to us to make this thing attractive again and go out there and people like you using your media. That's why I'm saying, listen, I got to take this interview. Because she's in media, which means she's a part of the air. I got to make this thing attractive. So anytime I get a chance to get on radio, television, or do an interview, I'm like, man, I'm about to make the kingdom so attractive that one person is going to say, man, you know what's to that? I'm going to try that.
Wow.
And that's just what we have to do, some untraditional methods.
I love it. Willie, how can parents wanting more information, millennials wanting more connection, and just people who know that you are dope, how can all of us get in touch with you and follow your movement?
Man, glory to God. Listen, more than anything, I just want everybody to know that despite of what you've done, despite of your issue, God loves you not because you're so good, but because he's so good. And I know that religion has told you that God is pointing at you, telling you what you can't do. But God is saying, come back home. And that small little piece in your heart can only be filled by him. So honestly, you want the true relationship with you, and you ain't got to be perfect, because I'm definitely not perfect. I'm Willie Moore Jr., Willie Moore Sr., and Flora Moore's only boy. And you can find me at WillieMooreJr.org. Again, that's WillieMooreJR.org. And connect with your nephew, man. We got a lot going on. New audio book coming in about a week. New videos coming. New courses coming. God is doing some amazing work. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Willie. So, guys, make sure you follow, and thank you so much. You are listening to Zakiya Larry Live. And, hey, Willie Moore Jr. on KYND 1520 AM. We'll be back. Zakiya Larry
Oh my gosh, thank you so much again to my guy, my brother Willie Moore Jr. Hey, quick PSA for you. Coming up at 11 a.m., the panelists of Operation Red Day are going to talk to you about what they are doing. It was supposed to be at 10 a.m., but they will be live at 11 a.m., so make sure you stick around for that. So today has been amazing. There was a tragedy last night, and we hopped right on it and talked about some resources for mental illness. You even called in and let us know your thoughts, but it's all part of renewal. It's right after Resurrection Sunday, or you may call it Easter. And so here's the thing. I'm not a preacher. I don't have all the answers, but I know I faced needing a major renewal several times in my life, and that answered the question of today, faith or fiction, do you need a core belief system? For me, yeah. So here's a 1-minute elevate. Here's what I'm sure of. Faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. American writer Edith Hamilton said it this way: faith is not belief. Belief is passive. Faith is active. So I'm sure that whatever new season you're looking forward to, wherever you need renewal, if you anchor yourself in the power bigger than you and first see it on the inside, soon enough, you'll live it on the outside. If you don't believe me, ask my doctors. Hashtag receipts. Let's hang out again in the building next week. It's Zakiya Larry Live.
The views and opinions expressed on KYND 1520 talk programs are those of the host, guest, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its owners, management, other hosts, or advertisers. Show topics on this station may include conversations on any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practices. KYND, a Synergy Broadcasting Company.